Welcome back, demon hunters, Diablo 3 players, and perverts that just come here to look at my hairy face. You're all very welcome. This is an in-depth guide to the Natalya'S Set Dungeon, which I have done in the past, but I've decided to revamp and do a new video for the current season, which we're up to season 12 at the moment, and patch 2.6.1. It doesn't look like it's changed much since back when I first did it, but it's fun nonetheless, and a lot of you demon hunters out there will probably be using Natalya'S Set first, because you get the Natalya'S Set, the full armor set, when you complete your season objectives up here in your season journey. So when you get up to chapter 4, you'll have your full Natalya'S Set, and more than likely as you're progressing through your season journey, you'll come up to the season objective where you have to complete a set dungeon. So I'm going to show you all how to do it. The first thing we're going to do is go through our objectives. So two primary objectives. Number one, maintain a constant reign of vengeance for 90 seconds. This can be tricky if you don't prepare properly. We're going to prepare properly. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, and you pretty much cannot fail unless you're really, really bad. The other one is do not exhaust your hatred. So very, very easy. You're not going to be using much hatred at all, and we're also using evasive fire with focus, which regenerates hatred. So again, you'd have to be really bad to run out of hatred. Don't be bad. Don't stand in the fire. But all jokes aside, it's super easy if you just prepare right. And as always, the regular objectives are there to complete as well. Nothing's changed there. Let's check out the gear that we're using. So we're using 6 pieces of Natalya'S Set. We're using the helm, chest, the pants, the boots, the single-handed crossbow here, the ring, and also the gloves. So Natalya'S is very unique because it has 7 set items, not just 6, and it's also got the ring and the weapon. So kind of unique, and it allows you to mix and match, which I'll get into in a future video because I mix and match with other sets and we really optimize damage and survivability. But anyway, let's focus on Natalya'S Set Dungeon for today. We're using Death's Mantle here, and it's not Death's Mantle that I'm using. I'm actually using these shoulders because of the cooldown reduction there. It reduces cooldown of all skills by 8%. That is why I slotted that in there. We're using Wraps of Clarity. Traveler's Pledge with the Compass Rose here. I'm using Vigilante Belt again, only because of the cooldown reduction. So you want to whack in whatever isn't a Natalya'S piece. As long as you've got 6 pieces of Natalya'S equipped, or 5, and Ring of Royal Grandeur, you can put in anything else, and I would highly recommend to put stuff in with cooldown reduction. We definitely need cooldown reduction wherever possible, so that's why I whacked in that belt there, and that is also why I'm using this quiver here, only because it's got the cooldown reduction by 6% there. And I didn't have to enchant these items at all. They just came with cooldown reduction, so I just whacked them in there, and that definitely helps us. Doesn't have to be any specific legendary, just whack in anything with cooldown reduction. I'm telling you, it's going to be that much more easier. The gems we're using are the diamond gem in the helm, obviously, again, 12.5% cooldown reduction. And we're using emerald gems everywhere else. And legendary gems that we're using are Enforcer, which doesn't help us in this set dungeon at all, but we don't need a damage boost anyway. Zay's Stone of Vengeance, again, not very handy for this set dungeon, but we don't need damage boosting. And Bane of the Trap, which does increase our damage a little bit against enemies that are affected by movement impairing effects. That covers our gear off. There's nothing really fancy about the gear. Just make sure you have like 3 or 4 items with, up to 8% cooldown reduction equipped. It's definitely going to help. Now, very importantly, in Natalya'S Cube, we have Injiyom, which again reduces cooldowns by 10 seconds for 15 seconds after killing an elite pack. There are elite packs in this set dungeon, so this will come in handy. In armor, I'm using Leoric's Crown to increase our cooldown reduction in our helm by 100%. And in jewelry, Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, again reducing cooldown reduction of one of your skills by 1 second when you hit with a resource spending attack. Now honestly, I've probably gone over the top with cooldown reduction here, but it does make it so much more easier, this set dungeon. So I definitely highly recommend that you do exactly what I'm doing and use what I'm using, particularly in Natalya'S Cube. Now the skills we're using are Evasive Fire with Focus, which regenerates our hatred, so it's going to be pretty much impossible to run out of hatred when we have this. Strafe with Drifting Shadow. This is basically we're using it for mobility, just to get out of packs and to keep on moving through the map, and also to have that hatred spending attack as well to activate Ingeom in Canai's Cube there. Companion with Wolf Companion, not really going to be using this. Vault and Tumble, will use it every now and then. It's very nice because I'm using tactical advantage there, so as we vault we also gain movement speed increase, and we definitely want to run from pack to pack as quickly as possible so we can maintain our Reign of Vengeance and not let it drop out so we fail the set dungeon. Reign of Vengeance with Flying Strike, obviously the primary skill for this set dungeon. We've got to spam the hell out of this and make sure it's active for 90 seconds. Sentry with Polar Stations, we're not going to use Sentry. We're not going to need it, but there's no other skills really that you're going to require anyway. Passives like Custom Engineering, Tactical Advantage, Ballistics, and Call of the Week. Now we just have to head on over there and complete it together. So in order to get there, we open up our map and we make sure that we're in Act 1. And we want to click on the Wortham Chapel Cellar, which is right down here in the bottom right hand corner. When we appear in Wortham, we just head on down around the table here and through the door. And then boom, your set dungeon portal will appear right there. Just keep in mind you have to have at least 6 pieces of Natalya'S equipped, or 5 pieces with the Ring of Royal Grandeur either equipped or in your Canai's Cube in order to access this set dungeon. So now everybody is prepared, ready to go. Let's go on in and complete this. Alright, we're in now. Keep in mind, as soon as you cast your first Reign of Vengeance, like I just did, the timer will begin. Then we have to make sure we're using evasive fire effectively. 1 or 2 shots, 3 at the most, will definitely get your Reign of Vengeance back. As you can see how quickly it's ticking at the bottom there. We're maintaining it so easily, it's almost impossible to fail. And then we just kind of use strafe every now and then just to kill off enemies that may not have died from Reign of Vengeance, and also strafing also does regenerate our cooldown for Reign of Vengeance as well a little bit, but we're not going to really need it that much. You know, a couple evasive fires and we're done. And make sure that you focus on where enemies are. Don't just sort of run around the map trying to kill them off and make sure they're all dead just yet. It's a reasonably small map. We want to focus on maintaining that timer, maintaining Reign of Vengeance first. Once we've done that for 90 seconds, which is only a minute and a half, then the rest is easy. We can finish off the map easily. The hard part is maintaining Reign of Vengeance. But if you follow my guide and all of the gear that I explain, then it won't be hard at all. It'll be hard if you don't prepare for it properly. As you can see, we're maintaining it ultra easy at the moment. Just moving on through. And always making sure you've got enemies to hit. If you're hitting enemies with evasive fire, you will definitely regenerate your Reign of Vengeance quick enough to cast and maintain the timer. If you don't have enemies to hit, you might be in a bit of trouble. So there we go, we've done it for 90 seconds. Now the rest is easy. We just gotta finish off killing all the monsters. And because we have tactical advantage with the Vault, we can move really quickly. We can uncover any maps, any part of the, blackout map area that we haven't, uncovered yet. It's just, we're not going to fail. We're not going to fail. And I want everybody to pass this with a mastery achievement as well. What have we got? 40 monsters left. Just gotta clear the map. So like I said, just make sure at the beginning you focus on your Reign of Vengeance, just maintaining that, making sure it's maintained for 90 seconds, and then we just clear it out. I mean, we've got 2 minutes 22 seconds to go, and we've nearly uncovered all of the map. So you want to focus on those blacked out areas. That's pretty much where the monsters will be hidden. You don't want to get stuck in corners too much as you're maintaining Reign of Vengeance, because you may not be able to get to another enemy quick enough in order to maintain that timer. Woof! There we go. The Natalya'S Set Dungeon completed with the Mastery Achievement for the Demon Hunter class. This is Season 12, patch 2.6.1, and this is the most current guide right now that I've done for the Natalya'S Set Dungeon. It doesn't look like anything has changed. The only changes that have been made have been to the actual armor sets of the classes. So either way, I chose to revamp and redo this video for you all. I hope you all enjoyed, and all you demon hunters in Season 12, I hope your season is going ultra well. And when you get up to doing the set dungeon, hopefully this assists you and gives you a bit of a helping hand. And keep in mind that completing set dungeons with a master achievement for every single class in the game does get you that awesome set of wings as a reward. Whether or not you choose to go on that journey is totally up to you. A hell of a lot more content coming in the next few days, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It's always appreciated. If not, hey, it's optional, but that button is coming up. Either way, make sure you come back and visit your friendly Uncle Bannock 13 anytime.